God. Ask God.
Hey Scott, this is Todd. I have more of a statement than a question. I am just getting started on the white label products on Amazon, but I had some leftover bed sets that I was selling on eBay and decided to get started with the Amazon stuff and sent 10 of them into Amazon. And it was received at one of their warehouses, and 7 days later, it still had not been received into inventory. So I contacted support, and they informed me that my products were lost, and they paid me the full listed price that I had it listed for on Amazon, minus the FBA fees and everything else. So I'm just wondering how common this kind of thing is. I doubt it's very common if you've ever had this happen or if others have ever had it happen. But it's really nice to know that Amazon backs up their sellers in this way if they mess something up like that. Thank you so much for doing the podcast. It's been awesome getting me into Amazon. I'm just getting samples for my first white label product and look forward to getting that going here in the next month. So really appreciate the podcast and keep up the great work. Thank you.
Hey, Todd, thank you so much for the info. And I think that people should hear this too, because you're right. And I've heard this happen before. This has not technically happened to me, but I have heard other people that it's happened to, and you're exactly right. Amazon's pretty good about that. If they lose a shipment or misplace it or damage it, they will pay for the item what you were going to sell it for, minus the FBA fees, of course. So you shipped in 10 packages, I think you said sheet sets or pillowcases or whatever it was, right? And because of that, you didn't even have to sell them. They just bought them. So it was like you just handed them into Amazon and they paid you for them in a sense, right? So that was the easiest 10 sales you probably ever will make. But you're absolutely right. They will take care of that. And I think people should be aware of that. That Amazon, a lot of times they get a bad rap too on certain things. And you know what? Sometimes rightfully so. I mean, sometimes you got to go through the hoops, especially like you're talking about like hijackers and stuff. Like that's like an area right now that still has to be tweaked. It really needs to be tweaked. And I think it will. It's going to be harder for that to happen. And I think it's going to be easier to process those. But you're right. They are pretty good about taking care of their sellers, because let's face it, when they're taking care of us, we're supplying them with more product into their catalogs. And once we do that, they're going to get more business. So they want to make us happy. And every time that I've ever really talked on the phone with a customer support rep or, a seller rep, they've always been really, really good. So, now it's different if you're going through the online chat. A lot of times that'll go to another country with someone that's just kind of answering the generic stuff. That's why I've always said, hop on the phone and ask questions with a rep there, and you'll usually get someone in the States. And that's really going to help you because you're going to be able to talk to a real person. But anyway, thanks for making us aware of that. And I wanted to share this because some people have never had that happen. But if you do have an item or items that you've shipped in and they're taking a really long time to become available in your stock, definitely reach out to them. Ask them where it is. They'll be able to trace it. They'll be able to track it. And if they can't, they'll go ahead and they'll reimburse you. That's exactly what they'll do. So definitely don't be afraid to reach out to seller support and have them help you out. They are generally really, really good. So thanks so much again for bringing this to the show, because I wanted to share it because I think it's important for people to know. But also, good luck to you in your white labeling, as you called it. And some people will be like, well, what's that mean, white labeling? It's pretty much the same thing as private labeling. It's where you're taking something that's already made and you're putting your brand on it. So white label, private label, pretty much the same thing. Some people would say that white labeling could mean that you have to only have it that certain way, but I've heard people call it both. So whatever you want to call it, private labeling is what we call it around here, but I get what you're saying. So good luck to you. Keep us posted, and I would love to hear how you're doing. If you guys want to submit a question, head over to theamazingseller.com/ask, and you can do that. I want to also, again, remind you guys, if you're brand new and this is your first time to the show, I want to welcome you. I love hanging out with you guys. This is just awesome to be able to virtually connect like this. And that's why I love the Ask Scott sessions. But if you are brand new and you're just getting your feet wet and you don't understand the entire process, the entire business model, I would recommend attending one of my live free workshops. This is where I break it down for you in 5 phases: how to pick a market and a product, how to source it, how to do a pre-launch, how to do a launch, how to promote the product, and everything in between. We go over that on a workshop, and we go through every single thing. We also do live Q&A. So if you want to attend one of them, I would love to invite you to the next one, and you can register for the next one by heading over to theamazingseller.com/workshop, and you can register there for an upcoming workshop. Well, hey there. Thank you so much for listening to that episode of Ask Scott. Now, that was just a highlight from one of our full episodes where I generally answer 3 to 4 questions on a podcast. If you want to go back and listen to all of the past archives of not just the Ask Scott session, but all of the full episodes where I do interviews with top Amazon sellers, people starting from scratch and building a business, if you want to listen to any of those episodes, head over to theamazingseller.com and you can find all of that over there. You can also find details there on how you can ask your own question and get it aired on an upcoming Ask Scott session and possibly see it here on YouTube or just on the podcast. All right, so definitely head over to theamazingseller.com. There's tons of resources over there for you to be able to build your e-commerce and Amazon business, so definitely go check that out. Now, I just wanted to remind you one thing before I let you go. There's a lot of information out there, and some of it is really, really good. What I want you to remember is you have to not just consume the information, you have to actually apply that information. So take this information that you learned here today and apply it to your business, and this way here you can get results. As my shirt says, I wear it almost daily. Take action. We'll see you guys.